Welcome to this Link to the Past League randomizer match we've got. We are doing Cross Keys week today, which, depending on who you ask, is either the best week or the worst week. I'm definitely in the best week camp. I'm Dane8373. I'm joined by Skunkner on commentary today.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, so we've got this match between Waterloo and Ninbon, both they're with Waterloo being from the Crosswords Keysanity team and Ninbon being from the French Canadiens, and they're both in the Lost Woods division. And as you can see, the Crosswords Keysanity has 6 points, which means 2 wins, and the French Canadiens is looking for their first win of the year. But these invitational leagues are brutal because these are some really solid teams, and they are still having a bit less of a year than they're looking at, but still gonna have an exciting match today.
Yeah, Invitational League is stacked.
Yeah, absolutely. So it looks like both runners are starting with the traditional sort of linked house into the wheel hand route.
Yeah, that's cross keys for ya. Gotta check those connectors early on.
Yeah, so for the people who may not be as familiar about cross keys, this is a cross-world entrance plus Keysanity, hence the name cross keys. So all the entrances are shuffled, all the keys are shuffled. So this opening you're seeing here is because this Witch Hut entrance is quite difficult to get back to sometimes. So nice to knock it out of the right early and then be able to go over to set up a Houlihan for some early game money.
Yeah, common start for cross keys. But we did find the hookshot cave, the back entrance.
Yeah, it's always good to find that because that's 4 items that you can get when you have the hook shot, or just 1 you can get with the boots. It's also a connector, which we may just run into the other side in the wild, which would be nice, but otherwise they can always come back to this Witch's Hut to see where that goes.
Yeah. Oh. And the well. Not locked by the pyramid.
Nope, it's nice to see the well early, though. It is kind of annoying sometimes when you come here without a bomb, so maybe they'll get lucky and find a bomb in one of these chests. All right,
They
so
are not lucky.
Yeah, they did get 300 rupees, which so it's interesting. Sometimes if you get a lot of money in this check, you just don't bother with the Houlihan because the extra 200 rupees isn't super important early normally, though it sometimes can be. But both these runners are going to elect to just continue as usual and do the Houlihan. And then, so looks like Waterloo is going to go north to the Uncle drop down, and Ninbon's going to do the same. There's a kind of a few minor deviations you can do after doing this. You can go over to the Lake Hylia area and check some of your drop packs to try to get bombs, because you might find a bomb block, something like Escaper with a well here, though we already found the well, so it's not going to be that. But you might want bombs for this drop down over here. But we'll see, maybe the tree pole can also be helpful, but it's just 5 rupees today.
No bombs early on.
And that's the Magic Bat drop down, so we'll have to come back there much later on if we run into the powder at some point.
Maybe we'll see some divergence now.
And we've got Sanctuary drop down is at the Aga Tower drop down, which where the lumberjack tree. So we're gonna have to beat Aga to get to that drop down, though you can also get to the back through using the Hyrule Castle key, or even from stealing a key on the way to the front of Escape.
Yeah.
And whenever you have Sanctuary drop down in either Aga Tower or the lumberjack tree or behind GT, it's always a question of if you're going to save scum that small key, because it is a bit of a time commitment, but it can save a lot of time if that Hyrule Castle key is late or you're logically required to beat Aghanim to get the items back there.
Absolutely.
And there's a Turtle Rock small key from the mushroom spot. That can be helpful to get if you want to end up doing a low percent run to the lava chest. Because sometimes you don't need that many TR smalls, so you can just burn one freely there, though it really depends on where the entrances end up being. And it looks like both these runners are going to make their way over to the Kakariko area, which is really the most entrance or heavy area in the early game. And so there's just a lot of checks there. We'll see if sometimes it can be pretty empty, surprisingly, but we'll see if it's going to have like dungeons or connectors or anything nice for us today.
Yeah, they are doing absolutely the same. So, Smiths in Kakariko.
Definitely nicer than having them in like Eastern Palace or in the Ice Rod Cave area. And
still no bombs though.
Yeah, the shops. Normally, one of the main advantages of doing the Houlihan is if you just run into a shop somewhere, you can buy 10 bombs, but they haven't even found a shop yet.
Look at that connector though.
Yeah, this one is always interesting because and there's 10 bombs, so that's a pretty nice pickup. Because you always want to climb up here to get the item, but it feels kind of long, and then you might have to come back here to follow that connector. But 10 bombs is nice.
Yeah, 10 bombs is what they need right here.
Yeah, that's about the best spot for the 10 bomb pack because there's only one of those in the game, and you have 0 bombs and you haven't found a shop yet. It's a very conveniently placed one. And also something about picking up that item, it very rarely comes up, but if you pick up that item, you can hook shot on the hint tile. So sometimes there's a situation where you have the hook shot, you found the other side of Spectacle Rock, and you just want to take that connector back, maybe you want to get to Kakariko quickly. So it's sometimes nice to pick up that item even if it's garbage. And we see Uncle drop down at the Kakariko well spot. So we are, I don't know, did we get up to the Lost Woods? You did get up to that one. I can't remember what that one was. But we have seen the Kakariko well, the Uncle, and the Magic Bat for sure so far.
Yeah. And we've got our first pot small key.
Yep, there's a lot of those out there in the world that we'll need to get. And chat saying Lost Woods looks like it was the useless fairy drop down, so won't need to go back for that one. But we are getting close to perhaps having Ganon be vanilla. It's still only a 33% chance right now. We still got a Sanctuary and the Magic Bat spot to check. And we found 2 dungeons pretty close to the other here, finding Tower of Hera and Misery Mire. Misery Mire is you can't do anything there without the boots or the hookshot to get across. But Tower of Hera, you can get the first 2 checks. It will cost you quite a few bombs here, but it's definitely worth it. And there is that Hyrule Castle small key, so that's definitely good to find here early. So no need to worry about safe scumming or beating Agate 1 today.
Yeah. And we did find the the vanilla Skullwoods drop down. There is a small key on the ledge.
Yeah, and there's a glove in Tower of Hera, which it's always great to find an early glove in cross keys. One of the most annoying parts about routing cross keys is there are a lot of just random glove locked entrances scattered around the light world that are quite isolated if you don't get them on your first go. But with the runners getting them this early, they'll be able to get them all on the first go.
Cross keys is a lot of backtracking and that sort of money. Early on, you gotta love to see that.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of the main differences, I think, between cross keys and some of the other like more standard modes is that in the other standard modes, a lot of times you're trying to check as few things as possible because if you route the seed properly, you get to skip a lot. Whereas in cross keys, you're not going to get to skip as much. So rather than looking for skips, you're looking more for efficiencies where you're putting off things until you can check more things in that area, and just trying to route as efficiently as possible.
Yeah.
And Waterloo has made his way into the desert entrance. Also, it looks like I don't know where Nimban got that sword from.
Back of Tavern.
Ah, okay. So that's a another nice early game item to get.
Yeah, absolutely.
And nothing of value in the one chest in Desert Palace that you get for free. There's the flippers on that torch, so that's definitely a good thing to know about.
There are 3 dungeons in Kakariko.
Yep, we've seen a dark connector over at Lumberjack, plus Desert Palace has 2 connectors, and Spec Rock is a connector, plus those 2 back dungeons. Desert Palace, I guess, is a dungeon too, even though you can't be the boss there. So yeah, it's a pretty decent Kakariko today. And that Paradox bottom that both these runners have found, they can't do anything with because they don't have the mirror, but it is nice to know about because sometimes you can get tempted to follow that connector, but it's a one-way if you don't have the mirror. And where it looks like Nimban's going to check one of these desert connectors. Waterloo elected to just leave immediately because he still had a good amount of stuff in Kakariko to check. And we found Tower of Hera. That's an interesting entrance because now we're going to be able to enter to rescue the old man for sure. And that gives you a nice save and quit point.
Yeah. And there are a few entrances you can check. So Nimban shouldn't be that unhappy, and we did find Paradox Cave, so no hassle with the mirror.
Yeah, that's actually pretty nice if there's nothing else needed on this route. I mean, you might want to check the dark entrances, but if you want to go back to Kakariko, there's just a free ticket back through this Paradox.
Yeah.
And so with Nimban walking out of the dark world there, he's got to actually backtrack and hopefully not get too bullied by these moldworms and make it back into the light world so he can get the Paradox items. All right, very nice getting past them the first time. Now just got to be a little careful, but now he has a sword to get past them.
It is scary.
Yeah, absolutely. The mountain is one of the places where you just have to be, or if you get to the mountain in the early game, you just have to be pretty careful because it's the deaths up here on the mountain are quite punishing.
But there will be 2 hearts in this room, so now you should be fine.
And that early game sword is just so helpful. It makes dealing with these moldworms in here much easier.
Yeah.
And looks like I didn't even see how Waterloo got to this mountain, but there is another connector down on the south part of the mountain that we'll see when Nimban makes his way down there.
I think there was nothing of value in Paradox Cave except of the GT small key.
Yeah, a bit of a bust. It's normally nice to get some sort of early game item out of that early 7-item cave, but nothing today. Yeah. And there we see that. That's an example of the Moldorm. If you pick up an item from the Moldorm in the middle in Paradox Cave, you'll just fail your bomb jump like that. So be careful. Or if it drops a fairy, even if you don't pick it up, it will automatically fail. Yeah, I don't think that was a sprite issue. That's a Moldorm. When you follow the bomb jump instantly like that, it's almost always because you picked up something from the Moldorm.
Yeah, same happens with Herapod.
And also, if you pick up the second Helma when you're doing a hammer jump, the same thing will occur.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all about the enemy in index position 1.
There's also a thing about Ice Palace Bomb Jump in Randomizer.
Yes. If the enemy in index 1 is a floating enemy, that
Yeah.
an Randomizer comes that. You also have that in like the Harmless Hellway. If there's a floating enemy over there, you can sometimes ruin you. Okay, there's that. So it was Fairy Ascension Connector at the bottom of Death Mountain.
Still looking for the old man.
Yeah, I think he has to be vanilla at this point.
Yeah. I think we did see every other entrance.
Oh no, it's this drop down here.
Ah. Good to have the sword. That's a nice save and quit point for Waterloo.
And looks like Ninman is going to take this other connector and go right back. It's nice because this way is the quick way, but going to catch a fairy first, which can be useful for a number of reasons. You can use it for Spike Cave. It can just be nice to not die when you're on low health. And you can also use it for the potion glitch, actually, in Palace of Darkness as well. You can use a fairy as well. It's a little bit longer, but it's always nice to have that option.
Also, those Ladrogs can troll you badly.
Yeah, absolutely. Deaths on the mountain can be quite punishing. They at least have the sword, so they should be okay. But yeah, it's definitely nice to have that safety. And because of these connectors, actually, both of the runners are going to be able to check these Dark World entrances pretty much for free. They don't have any They know where all the connectors go. So it's nice because these can be sometimes quite annoying to route in.
Yeah. We did find Meyer Hut.
Yeah, the Meyer Shed. So they want to come back here when they've got the Moon Pearl. And Palace of Darkness with 2 small keys. Looks like Waterloo is intending to do some sequence breaking here and do some of this Palace of Darkness out of logic, which with 2 small keys, definitely understandable.
Yeah, you are able to grab a couple of checks here.
Yep, you won't find the Moon Pearl here, but you could find just about anything else.
Yeah.
And this is an annoying spot to get back to, so I think it's a pretty easy decision to go in here. With 2 small keys, you can do a considerable amount of Palace of Darkness.
Do you think we'll see a hammer jump?
Yeah, I think so. With the if he's going to go into the back, you might as well. Looks like Ninman isn't going to check those Dark World entrances. That's an interesting old man spot, though. We've got Meyer access already via the old man save and quit. Not in logic yet because the old man requires the lamp to rescue, but it is definitely good to have.
And we did find the laser bridge.
Yep.
Back entrance of Turtle Rock.
The fairy being a bit of a troll here, unfortunately. Yeah. And looks like Waterloo is going to go for a mimic clip here because he doesn't have anything in his bottle, so he's going to have to go for a mimic clip. Or no, he's going to try to. Ooh, that's some real thinking on your feet there.
Wow.
That like I mentioned, you can use the fairy here. Yeah. And yeah, that's some heads up play right there by Waterloo.
having a bottle and the bug net right here, and getting that drop.
And then even thinking, oh, there's a fairy drop right there. I can use this instead of mimic clipping.
Ah, but didn't get it.
Yeah, it's definitely a harder setup with the fairy. But gonna go ahead and go for that mimic clip that he was intending to do anyway. And meanwhile, Ninman has made his way through most of Laser Bridge, hasn't found anything too useful yet. And these laser skips are being a bit tough. We don't really have much margin for error with the 4 hearts.
Yeah, but that upper chest you can get via iframes.
Yep, you can. We'll see if he elects to do that here, if he's just going to go for the laser skip again. And there's Waterloo getting his mimic clip. That is not an easy trick. You've got to do a bunch of frame perfect inputs in a row, and if you mess up one, you have to start all over. So very nice there to get through it.
Was it worth it? Nope. Just bombs in both of those checks.
And did Ninban leave without getting that last chest?
No, it was just a map, I guess.
Okay, yeah, that would be a
something absolutely useless.
And there's another connector over in the mire. We'll see where this one ends up taking us. Back to Death Mountain.
It was also bombs, okay.
There's another Turtle Rock entrance. That's the only way to get that big chest, so probably we'll see these runners come back here when they have that, but it's nice to find that. And that little house is very nice for farming some extra bombs. Ooh, that's another tough death. Like those red Tektites they're really rough for those 2 entrances.
Yeah. 4 hearts, green mail. Not nice. Key of Hera.
Yeah, we've already found Tower of Hera.
Yeah.
So he could go beat that dungeon if he wanted.
Yeah.
And the cape, which sometimes is actually pretty nice in Cross Keys, because if you find your way up to the top by that Agate Tower entrance without the Master Sword, it's really annoying to orphan that one check. So it can be quite nice. Also, we're going to get to see now over on Ninban's side if Ganon is going to be vanilla or not today. All right, Ganon is vanilla today. And there's a big key up there, so we'll get a nice free big key. And Waterloo did do that hammer jump that we were talking about earlier and made his way into the dark maze, got the Master Sword from the bottom chest and is making his way up top towards that last chest in the dark.
Elwood's big key. Does not have to be mandatory, but nice to have.
Yeah, absolutely. You love to have both the Fire Rod and the Skullwoods big key before you go into Skullwoods, so you just get to do that once and then never come back. And so that out of logic dip for Waterloo for the Palace of Darkness netted a Master Sword and the Cape and the Tower of Hera big key. So those could be important. So that mirror right there, that's a tough one to find there.
Yeah,
because,
but I guess... Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I guess Waterloo is going there too. Right now.
Yeah, I guess this is where it's good to know what opening your opponent prefers, because if your opponent did not do the Houlihan route, it's possible that they got this near earlier than you did. But it can definitely feel bad because but at least they haven't gone too many places where you would be leaving behind mirror lock stuff. This is one of the things they did where Ninban is right now. There's also that small key on the top of the Death Mountain that they could have gotten if they had the mirror earlier.
Yeah.
But yeah, early glove and early mirror is pretty nice for cross keys. We're still looking for that moon pearl to give the real a lot of access in this seed, but nice to get those items early.
Yeah. Green pendant on Skullwoods. Ooh, and the moon pearl. Add Slasher's back.
Yeah, looks like the Sage's traded houses, at least Sahas Rala moved over into Gina's house. We'll see if Gina moved into Sahas' spot. But we find the moon pearl there. So now, like I was saying, now Ninban has a lot of access in the world right now. We don't have a great connector to the dark world yet, but once we find one, then basically the whole world's open.
Yeah. And it's just a matter of time.
And Waterloo's making his way over to the mirror over here. Also, from talking to Sahas Rala, we have found out that Skullwoods is the green pendant today. Shout outs to Jinxie Girl, our tracker. It's definitely hard to track cross keys all by yourself, so very nice to help us commentators for all the stuff we miss. And Ninban has found Hyrule Castle, which with this Hyrule Castle small key, all of these chests in Hyrule Castle are in logic. I guess the ones in the back, they're not because they need a lamp, but I don't think that will stop Ninban from checking them.
Nah, no way.
And Waterloo elected to walk over, can finish his route with figuring out where this hookshot cave connector goes, which could be good. Yeah, this is just a normal Dark World one, which he doesn't have the Moon Pearl. You can't really do anything from here with the, from this particular entrance with the bunny. But that's a good entrance to find. I will give you the Palace of Darkness area once he gets that Moon Pearl. And so the powder is in the Hyrule Castle front. We did find Magic Bat over at the normal Uncle drop-down spot. So whenever Ninban wants, he can check that. Probably won't see, with the mirror and the Moon Pearl, you probably will try to combo that in with going to the pyramid. So I don't expect him to check that with any urgency.
No, there are so many open entrances. Just to one check, I don't think it's smart to go for it immediately.
Yeah, not when you've got such a nice spot where you can combo it in with all that other stuff in that area. And yeah, we've got Ninban is going to go back to the stuff that you technically need the lamp for, but with the sword, it's a light. I believe this is Light World Hyrule Castle too, so it's not super dangerous. So one interesting quirk about in cross keys, if you encounter a rat or a snake and you entered your dungeon through the light world, they will do normal damage. If you entered through the dark world, they're going to do 2 hearts each because they're actually acting like the crickets in Thieves Town for the rats or the kind of weird snakes in the dark world. And the same is true vice versa. If you're in Thieves Town and you entered from the light world, then the crickets in there will only do 1/4 heart instead of their normal 2. And yeah, these runners now have a lot of stuff available. We'll see when Waterloo makes his way over to that Moon Pearl, but I'm not surprised at all to see the little bit of divergence here.
I really like to watch cross keys for that matter, because you have so much divergence.
Yeah, because so much opens up at once. There's Ice Palace over in the Ice Rod Cave area. We don't have any way to get in there yet, so just gonna have to mark that for future reference. All right, so Yeah, pretty garbage. Ninban expressing his frustrations with those chests that was in the bottom there. And I think this is actually our first checks by Waterloo, but for either runner for these Highly Island, or these Lake Hylia entrances, and that's pretty late for these ones. We'll see if there's anything good here.
But Ninman is able to open up Mire, at least the Mire entrance.
Yeah, it's pretty nice because he got that Moon Pearl pretty quickly, or the Mirror and the Moon Pearl in kind of quick succession, and then just saved and quit here and was able to full clear this area, which is always nice.
Yeah. Oh, Super Bunny Cave.
That's about as convenient as a time to find Super Bunny as ever. He had just cleared out all of the entrances in the Mire area, so no backtracking needed. Just follow this, and then if it puts you somewhere useless, you were done with your route anyway, and you can save and quit. But I'm a big fan of like where Ninban's able to clear out this whole Mire area, because you're gonna go on like a bit of a hunt for Dark World access, which we know they have. And then once you get that, you're gonna have a long Dark World loop, basically clearing everything. So it's nice to get the sort of other stuff out of the way already, so that once you start that big loop, you have as much stuff as you possibly could.
But those item-dense locations in the overworld, like Minimolom Cave, are not that great today.
Yeah, Hype Cave was another bust.
That was Hype Cave, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, over in the Flute to 5 spot. And we're going to get to see that connector was actually pretty convenient there for Ninban, because you're definitely, he took the death up here earlier, and you're definitely worried that, oh, that maybe there was something good up here. But luckily, that laser bridge connector from Super Bunny just lets him clear out these ones that he wasn't able to get earlier. And we see back of Skullwoods along with the left exit of Spectacle Rock. So nothing too, it's good to find that Skullwoods for sure, but there wasn't anything immediately useful in there right now. And Ninban's going to check this back of Old Man connector, which definitely makes a lot of sense, because I think if you're Ninban right now, you're looking for a connector to the Dark World.
And he did find one.
Yeah, that's a really good one, too.
Yeah,
so that combined with the other one in Hookshot Cave, that gives us basically full Dark World access at this point.
Yeah.
And now Ninban gets to start on that big Dark World loop I was talking about, where he can basically take this all the way down from here to where by the Bomb Shop and Swamp Palace entrance. And Waterloo found that bumper cave leads to the pyramid crack. So that's good. You don't have to worry about the big bomb today. We know that's not going to do anything for us. Also, you get some nice mirror locked entrances. And for all, these are in logic with bumper cave. I guess bumper cave itself is out of logic. So this isn't technically in logic yet, but if that cape was in logic, then so would these entrances. So if you could find, for instance, the Moon Pearl here in that situation, but not going to happen today. Because when you're where Waterloo is right now, you really want to find that Moon Pearl. That really just feels like the next piece of the puzzle. And there can be some really mean cross keys Moon Pearls where you have to like mirror over to K45 and walk into GT and then do the climb for the Moon Pearl. So you really want to get that out of the way before you end up having to do something silly like that.
Yeah. They were so close to getting there, but unfortunately, they decided for another route. So could take some time to get there.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much of the Meyer area Waterloo did, because he's got that old man save and quit to get back there whenever really he wants, and then you can just mirror over to that Moon Pearl.
Yeah.
And so this is, we now found all of the Turtle Rock entrances except for the front so far. Oh, and that's a tough death.
Yeah. That
oh, he has the
is
fairy still.
up,
Okay,
yeah.
he's okay.
But
I forgot that he
is
caught
scary.
that fairy from Long Fairy Cave. But yeah, the Pokies are quite annoying. So when you find Laser Bridge already, sometimes you'll see runners just not even bother with this Pokey, because if you have Laser Bridge and you don't need to go out through the front of Turtle Rock, then you only need one key to finish it. But with the Master Sword, it makes sense, because they're not that bad to kill with the Master Sword. If you come in here with no sword or no good weapons, then a lot of times runners will just burn the key.
So Mario sucks.
Yeah. Though the one that I do like is when you use the Ice Rod to freeze one of the floating heads and then throw the floating head at the Pokey for Tempered Sword damage.
That's next level stuff. Oh, and the Swamp Smoky.
Yeah, we'll
That's
see.
a nice find.
That's a very interesting find, yes, because that's always something that you're probably going to need to find. I guess Swamp could be a pendant, so we'll have to figure out if that's hard required. But that Chain Chomp chest can be a bit. It's not high on your list of things to get back to.
Hammer for Ninban in Skullwoods.
Yeah, so now Ninban has regular Dark World access, so it makes getting around in the Dark World backtrack to places you might need to go to a lot easier. All right, Waterloo is making his way over to the desert area, which is great for him. We know that's where the Moon Pearl is going to be. And it looks like Skullwoods doesn't have the worst layout, or the